Greetings, namaste, Monsoon Biswakarma here. As usual at Audio Advent, bringing you a new guitar, again by Jet. This one is the fifth guitar into the studio by Jet Guitars. And without further ado, let's get through the specs first. And then we'll talk about what I feel and what you guys can expect with the guitar. The model is called Jet JS-700 MBK. I think by far this is the more higher end jet that we have brought into the studio. MBK, probably M standing for maple and BK for the black color, and it is very sweet looking. As you can see, it's all gold hardwares, and even the pickup covers are done cream, which really suits the aesthetics. And if it's not criminal to say, like, this really resembles guitars from Chauvel, and all the good for that. Machine head are gold locking tuners. As you can see, these are Jet branded locking tuners, and so far they do the job. They are nice and they lock it. And the neck is Canadian roasted maple. It's very nice, modern C shape, just like all the other guitars that we have brought in so far. The neck radius is 9.5 inches. The knot width is 1.65. The knot is bone knot. Again, pretty nice addition there. The truss rod is the normal double action. String scale, it's 25.5, just like the regular Fender scale. Number of frets is 22. Body, it's basswood. The pickup is HH Alnico 5, J87 on the bridge and J87 neck. And it's written Parchment Zebra from 2024. I think from 2024 they are putting Parchment Zebra on the pickup. Right now we just have this cream. And the bridge is a Wilkinson tremolo. It's a 2-point Wilkinson tremolo, which is the third time that I've come across this tremolo on Jet guitars. Pretty stable system. It comes with this thick zinc block, and always thicker is better. That's how I see it. And the controls, it's super simple. Just one volume, no tone, no nothing. So, and on the guitars that don't have the tone pot, you can immediately feel a little extra oomph over there where there's no tone pot, because your connection is directly just interacting with the volume. And what happens there is you get a little more power, you get a little more attack, you get a little more sustain. So for all the metal players out there, this is a very ample setup. The hardware is all gold, and the color satin black. It's easy to get it masked with your fingerprints, so but who cares, right? And the price as of right now on the website is 469 euros. And here you can get it through Deep Music, where this has come from. And it's a pretty looking guitar. And for the price you're paying, let's see if Jet justifies it. Feature wise, it definitely justifies it. Playing wise, we'll see together. But spoiler alert, so far my experience with this has been on par with the kind of price it comes with within the Jet range. So it's pretty pleasant. And for Monsoon, who comes from 2010, 2011, who was really deep into metal, into Gojira, into Slipknot, like, this is a pretty nostalgic guitar, you know. Back in the day when I used to think about owning a guitar, like, this setup is pretty much what I think about, because back in the day I did not really have much uses for tone knobs, and I would go full blown on the volume. And if I had something like this, I'd be pretty happy. So without further ado, let's check on some tones. We'll go from cleans to dirt. On the cleans we have a matchless amp. On the dirt we have a plexi pushed with some drive. So you'll see it. Plexi nahi honi hai na? Sorry. On the drive section we have a PV, and we will thrust it out with some drive. You'll hear it. So That was on the neck. On the middle now. On the bridge now. Instantly there's this glassy kind of feel to all the tones, and I think that's definitely a credit to the Alnico 5 pickups. Again, when it's Alnico versus ceramic, I personally always prefer Alnicos, Alnico 2s, Alnico 5s, and they have done a pretty good job with these pickups. Whatever pickups they have put in, and no matter where they are made, I don't feel that instant need to change the pickups right away, which I definitely felt with other Z guitars. I think after the Tele, this one is the one that will win my heart right now. But again, we digress. Let's see some more tones. Now we have put a tube screamer type pedal in front of the amp, so you will hear a little bit of breakup. And this setup, on this setup, when you roll off the volume just a bit, a little more, and that was with volume rolled off, like almost a little more than halfway. And the benefit to having that kind of roll off feature is you can go from pretty much cleans to doing slightly overdriven phrases and solos. So everything is pretty sweet, you know. So far, the kind of feeling that I'm getting from this guitar is play anything through it. It is going to sound good. And I think I have hung out with this almost an hour now, and everything that I've thrown it into, like riffs or sort of lead parts or super cleans, it takes everything pretty well. And these pickups, again, kudos to Z Guitars. Whatever you're doing with these pickups, we need more of these. And with some modulations, there's some chorus now. That's on the neck, on the middle now. On the bridge. it takes chorus so well that anytime I find a guitar that takes chorus so well, the instant feeling to me is I really want to do this. Very jangly sounding, very good amount of glass and jangle right there. I mean, man, I'm impressed, and I can go on and on saying only good things about this guitar. Now throwing in some rotary. On the middle now. Same thing on the bridge. Again, pretty straight. And even when you roll off the volumes on the cleans, like you get a good range of dynamics. That's the volume almost halfway rolled off. So pretty dynamic, even though it only has one volume. And I think it's a must for guitars that only have one volume control. Like if you cannot get much dynamics throughout them, throughout the range of the volume knob, your guitar pretty much becomes a one-trick pony. And although you might confuse a guitar like this with being a one-trick pony, but it is far away from being a one-trick pony. Like what it does is within this range of the volume knob, you can do a shit ton of tones, and that's an impressive feature. And before I forget to mention, comes with a pretty comfortable belly carve over here and a very comfortable and smooth feeling heel joint, and there's extra saving off over here. Yeah, everything seems to be pretty much top notch. And right now I think I definitely would recommend this for studio uses and your live uses. But I myself, when I'm holding this guitar, this is the most inspired I've felt when coming across a Jet guitar. And all the nostalgia factor aside, I think this guitar nails everything that comes to my mind when I think of a good guitar, a good sound, and all the things that I want to do with the guitar. So now, yeah, let's do some dirt. Pretty nice Prince harmonic over there. Again, the pickups are super responsive, very nice. I would not mind having these pickups on my other guitars either. They are that good. Full-bodied, full-sounding, very well-rounded off pickups. And because of the presence of a single volume knob, everything plows through and it comes like really nice. Running out of words, like nice. So now a little bit of gain there. Let's go through some transitions. I'll go from rhythm to this kind of lead. Again, running out of words, like nice. Nails everything, man. Like, take this guitar to a metal gig, take this guitar to a rock gig, take this guitar to a jazz thing. Like, it can cover all the bases pretty nicely. And right now, I'm thinking of how much I'd rate this guitar, because at the end, that's what I do. But I just want to play some more. Now with some chorus. Now here, what I really want you to take note of is how huge it sounds with the chorus. Same thing on the neck now. Now, where this comes handy is sometimes you have parts in your band where the song requires, and in the mix, you sort of feel like you're missing on the low end. So what you do is go to the neck pickup and then do the same chugging. And you readily feel that difference. When you're doing this on the bridge, it's pretty modern sounding, it's pretty snappy. But as soon as you come to the neck, you get that extra low end push. And yeah, sound wise, this sounds much better when you're hearing it alone. But on the mix with the band, when there's another guitar playing right with you, and there's bass and there's drums, you never know what kind of frequencies you go missing on the stage. So whenever you're able to do such things on the neck pickup, it really comes in handy, which again, highly appreciated, because there's ton of instances when I'm using just the neck pickup on my own guitar for rhythm purposes and for such chugs, and that has really helped me throughout my live performances over the years. And to have that exact feature on this guitar is a win-win for me. Now, another use case scenario. Like, you don't want your pickups to miss on things like And there's times when not all guitars do this very nicely, even on the neck pickup. Because if you're into punk rock music, if you're into music that has heavy breakdowns, if you're into metal, things like, even these things become very important because they are part of your melody. They are part of your rhythms, they are part of your breakdown sections. So you don't want them to just sound like they are tossed away in the process. So yeah, pretty transparent, and to be honest, pretty good sounding. And these pickups remind me of the PRS HFS. I don't know if I'm saying it right. The HFS pickups had similar kind of feeling for me, at least, and they really sound near to that. Although, again, those are American-made pickups. They are really nice, high-end pickups. And for these pickups to sort of remind you of that feeling, again, kudos to Z Guitars. Without further ado, let's hear some more sounds. Another use case scenario. Roll back the volume and then same thing on the bridge now. On the middle. Now, on the middle is where this becomes the most tamed with effects like this. Right now, we are running through a rotary on the driven amp. Now, what I wanted to show you was, now go to the full volume thing, and the same thing sounds way more spread out. The rotary seems to sound way more spread out, and which is, again, this is from one of our songs in my band, and I'm required to go from quiet rotary to a full-blown spread out rotary sound, which is overdriven and it spreads out with the rest of the band. And there's this crazy section that comes where I'm required to be heard within the mix, and that is where the mix gets really busy. I'll link the song somewhere. And right now, it may feel a little hurtful to your ears, but that is well intended. I mean, that is how much I require to be heard in the mix when I'm all spread out within that part of the song. So I just did not want to skim off on that. And the same thing when you're hearing on the clean section, like with the clean amp. This is volume all the way up. my point being, whenever you're loading your effects chain with effects like rotary, effects like univibe, a lot of times you lose a lot of clarity and transparency of the notes. And with this guitar and the setup that I'm going through right now, I'm not having any of that. Like, everything is well heard, everything is clear, everything is very clean. Even on the distortion sections, I can properly hear all the notes, and that to me is a big win on any guitar. And Jet has been providing that even on their lower end guitars, and this is one of their higher ends, so definitely it would have that. So a really good job by Jet Guitars. What else do I talk about? Just like I said, anything you play on this guitar sounds good. Like, it's super nice. I don't know what else to tell. So my closing statement, let's try the trem on. Again, the trem is a pop-in trem, which makes it a way lot easier for people to just get over it. Still in tune. So you might not like what you heard with the trem, because I don't use much trem, but I just wanted to show you. And even with heavy uses, me being able to do that without any strings going out of tune is again pretty good. Now, again, back to our closing statement. Now, how much I'd rate this guitar? Now, if you take my word for it, I don't feel the need to change the pickups. They are very good. I really love them. I think love would be a heavy word, but I really like them on this guitar. Like, whatever they are doing for this guitar is pretty good. And I like the use. I like that Jet Guitars has made basswood pretty common with most of their lineup, because to my ears, basswood is something that sounds pretty neutral to most of the pickups. It takes different kinds of pickups really well, and that's just my ears. Again, this is a very subjective thing. I'm talking about my own experiences. Now, if you want some reference, basswood is the wood that people like Joe Satriani, people like EVS, people like Steve Vai have used for a very long time. And if it works for them, it definitely works for other people. Again, another person, Misa Mansoor, is famous for using basswood bodies. And on the neck side, I'm all for ebony necks and maple necks, especially with, the fretboard. They really feel robust, and the tonality of it is what I'm into. And I'm not saying that I don't like rosewood. I mean, they really sound good. But if I had to choose my own guitar, if I had to buy a guitar for me, the first choices for me would be ebony or maple. And they have done it pretty good. And all the finish thing, like, man, like, whatever they are doing with the finish department, whoever is taking care of that, these are good. And just like any guitars, above this range or below, a setup is recommended, because different players have different needs. Some of you might like higher accents, some of you might like lower accents, and some of you might have issues with something else. Like for me, even if I had to use the trim, I'd put one more spring up here. Like the regular, in a regular basis, there are 3 springs usually on guitars like this. And what I do on my all of my guitars that have trims is I put one more spring, and hold it up pretty tight. So and I do that because I'm pretty heavy-handed, especially while I'm live, and the guitar is hanging very low, and I hit them heavy, and going out of tune is pretty easy. So yeah, things like that. Other than that, the knot is finished pretty well. So I don't know, man. Like I don't see any complaints on this. Maybe down the line, what I'd do is I'd try to experiment with the pot over here. And pickups themselves sound pretty moderate output. Like they are moderate output in a sense that they are on the higher end of the moderate output range, and they work pretty good in tandem with the guitar. So yeah, I think this is an easy 8.5 to 9, because is what happens with these what happens with this range of guitars is the amount of money you're spending, from $500 to $1,000, maybe from, I mean, these days from $300 to $1,000, you can pretty much get the gauze of the quality getting increased up until that point. But after $1,000 is where it breaks into minutia. Like now you start feeling very small gaps within the quality. Like maybe the intonation is way better after $1,000. Maybe the hardware put on it, maybe the wood is a little on the dearer side. But within $1,000, I think whatever Jet is doing right now, to me, Jet is their own own competitor within this range. And if anything, this guitar proves that Jet knows what it's doing, and it is doing it for players. It is a very player-centric guitar company, and Jet has not paid me to do this. Deep Music has not paid me to do this, but I'm just sharing you my own experience. Because, like over the course of 10, 15 years of playing guitars, you come across a lot of guitar brands, you come across a lot of guitars. And if I had to say very honestly, like, I think Jet is one of those companies where they have addressed a range of different players. Like, if you want inexpensive guitars, if you want a good sounding mid-budget guitar, if you want maybe a higher end, I think they have come up with an elite series. I don't know the price ranges about that. You can check into the website, but they seem to be doing pretty good, and they seem to be knowing what they are doing. And on that similar vein, yeah, an easy 8.5 to 9. Now, have I forgotten to talk about something else? I guess no. And after that telly, like the telly with the humbucker ear and the single coil ear, I think this is easily the most inspiring guitar for me. And again, not just because of the nostalgia, but this is pretty good. Like, I would gig with it. I think this is the guitar that has made me feel like I really want to gig a Jet guitar. So Jet guitars, if you're hearing. So yeah, I guess this is it. It does come with a guitar cable and all your Allen wrenches for your saddles, for the 2-point thing here, and for the neck, and a gig bag, which we have shown pretty much in every other video. So yeah, like, go check it out yourself, know yourself. Once and out.